young jock, and the performers. Our usual team around us, road managers, DJs, just we had the same team that works around us all the time. Would it be like a normal tour of an entertainment group that you go from city to city and perform in different cities, move on to the next city, and so forth? Well, of course, it would depend on what you consider normal, but for me, it's normal. Okay, and was there a black tour van that you all were riding in, or some of you were riding in from city to city? I mean, there was a black van, but I don't know if we were riding. I'm quite sure we weren't riding in that van from city to city. Okay. We were either taking flights or had a bus, and we were probably just riding to get, once we get to a city, we'll use vans to get around to where we need to go. If you could let the jury know, Mr. Harris, to the best of your recollection, who were some of the people, the names of the people that you were?
So let's be clear. What you're hearing is Mr. Clifford, aka T.I. Rubber Band Man, in court on the stand testifying for the murder of his bodyguard slash friend Phil. I'm pretty sure you guys are fully aware of that situation. So again, you're in court. You're about to start testifying and giving testimony on what happened. How was that not snitching? Since when is snitching only if you say who did it? Since when was that the only form of snitching?
Involved with in terms of security, road manager, promoters, that type of thing, that were with you back in May of 2006? Security wise, it was Ron Housley, and he hired a couple of guys. I think one of them was Mason. I know you referred to him as Green. I don't know the other guy's name. The driver, Bruce, road manager, Clay Evans, my DJ Drama, hype
Look,
man,
this
Doug.
nigga telling,
Let's see.
what's good to my
And
nigga
was
Mr.
Falan Johnson with
Untouchable.
you also? Absolutely. Big Phil was my assistant and best friend. Could you describe Falan Johnson to the jury, how you first met him, and what his role was with your tour, and basically describe Mr. Johnson? Well, how I met him, Phil's mom and my mom were very close friends. Phil's cousin and my uncles were very close friends. We were born the same year, so we grew up together. What town did you grow up in? Atlanta, Georgia. So you and Phil were like childhood friends? Yeah. It was my oldest living friend. We knew each other since 2 years old at least. And then would he travel with you then when you'd perform? All the time, yes. And what would his role be with your tour? He was my assistant. He basically woke me up in the morning, made sure I had everything I needed, had my clothes packed, and, make sure we get to the airport on time. Basically, check everybody in the airport, check everybody in the hotels, just basically make sure we have everything we need. Arrange interviews, arrange photo shoots, just
Y'all make
conduct
sure
all
y'all
my
hit that
personal
motherfucking
business,
like
whatever it
button.
may
Let's
be.
go.
Make sure everything I need done at the house is taken care of. Make sure all my calls are detailed the way I like them. Make sure all my jewelry is secure, things like that. So he had a role in your tour, but he was also your best friend? He had a role in my life personally as my best friend, a role in my organization personally as my assistant. We just happened to be on tour, so it wasn't like, we was on tour and had him come along to assist us in the tour. He assists me in anything I'm doing, whether I'm doing a movie, whether I'm doing, whatever it was that I was doing, he would be there assisting. We just happened to be on tour at the time. If you could describe him physically, was he tall or small or big? Yeah, he was tall. He was probably about, he was taller than me, maybe 6'1", about 2. He said he was 230. I know he was 260. Okay, big guy? Yeah. I'm going to direct your attention now, Mr. Harris, to May 2nd and May 3rd of 2006. Okay. Do you recall performing at a concert at Bogart's in Cincinnati? Yeah. Okay, and at a certain point, do you remember going to something at the Club Ritz? Yeah, we had an after party at the Club Ritz. If you could describe to the jury.
Okay, for those that's unclear what's going on, the prosecution had T.I. come in to give his testimony because they needed the jury judge to understand what happened and what caused or what events led up to the killing of T.I.'s assistant slash best friend. Again, remember, as a street nigga, you take these type of losses. Some people may feel that those are dumb rules, but that's just how it's always been. So Ti, who claimed to be a street dude, a street nigga, a real one, even though that was his best friend, for those that don't understand, the street code is he cannot go in there and tell. It's either revenge or you let it go. Again, you may disagree with the rules, but those are the rules that he claimed he accepted. And now he's breaking them. Again, it don't matter what part you tell. If you go to court and you tell, you a motherfucking snitch. And that's facts.
What is an after party? Well, basically, it's where a club wants to basically get you to come to their establishment after a major performance and use your name, your likeness to fill their club up, and they pay you to do it. And is that where you give a performance at all, or no? You just make an appearance? No, just make an appearance. Is that something normal you would do when you're on tour, do a concert and go to an after party? It depends on whether or not we sold that concert. If the concert had poor selling tickets, then you wouldn't want to do an after party because people would go to the after party rather than come buy tickets for the show. But if we sold out the show, then we'll pick up that extra money and go do the after party. And do you recall going to this after party at the Ritz? Yeah. Do you remember how you got to the after party?
Here you
Yeah,
go.
we rode in the black van. Do you recall who was in the black van when you rode to the Ritz? Me, Phil, Doug, Ron. Is that Doug Peterson? Yeah, Ron. Ron Housley? Yeah, Bruce. Bruce is the driver? Bruce is the driver. Clay. Is that Clay Evans? Yes, it is, and a couple of young ladies who shall remain nameless. Okay, if you could describe to the jury in your own words, Mr. Harris, what happened when you got inside the Ritz? We went to our section and basically just sat there for a minute, kicked it. Young Jock went on stage and performed. He asked me to come up there, to support him, so I went up there to support him, stood up there while he performed. Did you say anything to the crowd at all? I might have said, "What's up?" I didn't do no song. I didn't perform or nothing. I might have said, "What's happening?" Threw my hands up, walked back to my section. How big was the crowd that night? I mean, from what I remember vaguely, but it seemed to be pretty packed. Okay, had you ever heard of the term making it rain? Sure. What is making it rain? Throwing money in the air. And was that done that morning at the Ritz to the best of your recollection? Not by me. You see, you make it rain in strip clubs around beautiful women taking their clothes off, not in packed holes in walls. You don't throw money in the air. That's not part of the celebration in that city. And do you recall whether or not you or anybody with you invited any of the local Cincinnati people up in the VIP area with you? I mean, I don't recall, but it's not beyond the realm of possibilities. I mean, whenever we're in a city, we try to, be as cordial and as civil and as respectful to whomever is around that we can, as we can. You know what I'm saying? I don't recall myself inviting anyone personally up, but I can't say that that was not done. Okay, and what is the purpose of a VIP area if you can relate that to the jury, Mr. Harris? The VIP, to separate the primary artist, basically, to separate the person who was paid to be there from the people who paid to come there. And well, that's the purpose of the VIP area. Also, if you don't have a primary person who is there, then people pay to get in the VIP area just to look special, to feel important. Okay, have you ever heard of Aristocrat Records at all? No, not really. I mean, vaguely after the fact. Would it be fair to say that there's a lot of maybe people or artists or labels that try to get you interested in them? Yeah, that's a fair assumption, yeah. Too many to really remember. Every city might have their own rap community that wants you to listen to them and put them on with you. I mean, if I don't have a reason to remember people, I don't remember them. Okay, how did things. We've heard from other witnesses that there was a huge melee inside of the Ritz. Yeah.
She just asked Clifford, was there a big fight, a melee inside the club? What did Clifford say? Yeah. Y'all pay attention.
Do you recall that? Yeah, there was an altercation. And do you know how that got started?
Do you know how I got
From what I
started,
remember,
Clifford?
it was somebody who wanted to get in the VIP section who was being disrespectful with security and who was,
You already telling,
just,
nigga.
just
Let's
kind of
be
being
clear.
irate and
At
seemed to
this
be
point,
getting
you're
ornery.
already telling,
So,
bruh.
it caught our attention. And from that point, I think something was done or said, and, a fight ensued. It got physical.
Hey, real
How
shit,
would you describe
33.
that fight, Mr. Harris?
He's just
How would
getting
I describe
started.
it?
Listen, he's just getting
Yes, as it
started.
progressed. Violent.
Violent
Okay.
fight that happened inside the
I mean,
club.
I don't know. Like, it
How
consisted
is
of
that
maybe
not
five or
telling?
six people at first, and then it consisted of maybe 15, 20.
And remember, she also asked him, did he have another case that he was waiting to go up against? And T.I. said, yeah. You see what I'm saying? This was all part of the Crime Stopper shit, I believe. Let's go.
And then it consisted of maybe 30 at one time. What did you do or your team do as everything escalated inside the Reds? As everything escalated, I mean, we make sure all of us, first of all, we had to get the situation to a point where, everything was resolved and subdued. So after no one was fighting anymore, we was like, okay, now it's time to go. So when we start making our way toward the door, another fight ensued. And, at this point, everybody's fighting. You don't know who is where, and you're basically looking around trying to find everybody who was with you so you can leave. Did you get grabbed at all, if you recall? Yeah, I got grabbed by security. That was the problem that I had. I was telling security, let me go. I'm straight. You need to go deal with this. So we had that conversation for a minute. And then when we handled that and we got
Let's be clear. He told security, you need to let me go and you need to go deal with this. Y'all listen to y'all boy Clifford.
into another door and left out the club. When you told the jury a minute ago, Mr. Harris, that you were trying to say, I'm straight, go deal with that. Yes. Can you describe what you mean by that? Well, every time a fight ensues in a club and you have an artist, you have the security that came with the artist. Then you have the security at the club. And the security at the club, for the most part, most times are trying to impress the artists. So they're trying to overly protect the artist instead of dealing with the situation at hand at the club. So I'm telling them, you don't need to worry about me. I'm cool. You need to go resolve this situation. Okay, did you finally leave then? Yeah, we left. Which van did you get into? The black van. Do you recall who got back into the black van, Mr. Harris? The same people who rode with us. Where were you seated in the black van when you left? In the back seat on the bench. And do you recall where everybody else was seated? Falan was right in front of me, if I
He
recall
didn't want
correctly.
no cigarette, no
Would
Burger
that be a
King,
captain's
or
chair?
no Coke.
Yes. Would that have been on the driver's side or the passenger side? Driver's side. Okay, and who was driving? Bruce. And how about the passenger front seat? Who was in that seat? Ron.
So far, T.I.'s told it was a violent fight that happened. He told the security, leave me alone, go deal with them niggas over there, they the problem. He's telling you who sat where, who rode in what department, who was what. And we just getting started. And like I said already, he's already been told, nigga. But let's keep listening to Mr. Harris.
Ron Housley? Yes. And do you recall if Mr. Evans, Clay Evans, was in the vehicle? He was, but I don't remember where. Okay, and were there females in the vehicle as well? Yes. When is the first time you realized something unusual was going on as you left the club? Well, when we were pulling out of the club, I noticed headlights, because it's one line of traffic leaving the club and it's one line of traffic coming into the club. We were in the line of traffic leaving. I noticed headlights, trying to get around, go get into the lane of oncoming traffic, making efforts to pull up on the side of us. So I made Ron aware. And basically, me and Ron was having the same conversation that I just told you. If a fight break out, man, I'm cool. You need to go make sure everybody else is all right so we can leave. Don't just stand here with me and do nothing. So Ron and I were having that discussion, and I also noticed headlights, and I attempted to bring it to Ron's attention. Do you see what's going on around you? Are you looking? And, he said, yeah, I got it. I got it. And he kept.
So T.I.'s scary ass was already looking around, looking out windows, because he knew the shit had got real. And now he's telling his security team or whoever's with him, do you see what's going on behind us? Y'all keep listening.
kept talking, and before I knew it, shots rang out. Okay, did you see where the shots came from at all? I mean, I knew they came from the left side because that's the side I saw the car trying to pull up to. Okay, and as the shots rang out, what did you do? Took cover. Okay, do you know whether anybody in your vehicle returned fire at all? Yeah, they did. And after that initial shooting incident was over, what happened then? We pulled over to the side of the road, tried to assess the situation. Then I think Bruce pulled out again to get us on the highway, noticed that the tires were flat. And at that point, we're calling everybody's names out to see if everybody's all right. We called Phil's name out. Phil didn't respond. So at that point, everybody trying to get out of the car. We're picking Phil up, trying to get Phil out. And a car came back and opened fire again. When you had stopped on the expressway? Uh-huh. And Phil wasn't saying anything? Yeah. And you went to him? Uh-huh. What did he look like?
$453,000 in affiliate commissions.
Is it at that point after that second series of shots rang out? Yeah, yes. Can you describe that for the jury, where those came from? You mean a vehicle, or I don't know. Honestly, I didn't see what vehicle, what shots came from, nothing like that. As I was getting Phil out of the car, I just know, shots rang out again. I believe it was again. I'm sure that it was again on the left side. Okay, what did you all do as the second series of shots rang out? I mean, at this point, we were still trying to maneuver to get Phil out, We didn't really, nobody really took full cover at that point because we were more concerned about him. And if you could describe to the jury, Mr. Harris, then what happened next at the scene? We finally made a way to get Phil out. Another van that was with us pulled up on us. We finally get Phil out of the black van into the other van the other passengers were in. Was that another van that was with your tour? Yes. Do you remember what color that was? It was lighter. It was light. I don't know if it was silver or if it was white. It was light. And what happened with you all in the white van then, or silver van? What happened? We get Phil in there and shots rang out again. Do you know if those shots hit anything? Yeah, they hit the white. The white, the light colored van? The light colored, the white, the light colored van, yeah. Where did that van go then? When we started, we made our way to go, to go to the hospital, but then I believe the police or the ambulance or whatever pulled us over. Yeah, police pulled us over, and then we told them, the issue, and they called the ambulance. Were you hit at all? No. Were you injured at all by any glass or anything? No. I'm going to show you, if I can, a couple exhibits. States Exhibits 34K. Uh-huh. Do you recognize who that is? How did Falan's family find out about his death? I told them. And who did his family consist of? I told his cousins first. Well, no, I called his mom first. Then I told his cousin. Then when I got to Atlanta, I went to his dad's house. I told his daddy. I told his little girl. I told all his family, everybody. I did. How old was his little girl? His daughter was 4 years old at the time. 5 years old at the time. And how did you tell his daughter that her father was dead? I told her daddy's gone and he's in a better place and he won't be coming back. And I told her how much I loved her. And how did you tell his mom that her son was gone? Well, first I apologized. I apologized because, I felt that, all of those rounds were fired for me, in my opinion. So I apologized to her at first. And then I told her what happened to the best of my knowledge. And, I didn't get to really say much after that. There wasn't much else to say. How did she and his daughter do after you told them the news? Well, surprisingly, his daughter was very strong. His mom, not so much. His mom was hysterical. She was hysterical, distraught. His pops, too. His grandma, his aunts, his cousins, all of them. That's all, Judge. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Teeger. Mr. Isley, do you have any questions for Mr. Harris? Yes, I do, Judge. All right. Good morning. How are you doing? Fine. How old are you, Mr. Harris? 28 years old. 28. You would have been 26 in 2006? Yes. When this happened? Now, you talk a little bit about the club arrangements and the setup. Did part of the arrangements include that your advance people make arrangements for certain liquor for you and the people that travel with you? Well, yes, of course it does. They put whatever we request in our section and have it waiting for us when we get there. And would that be what is known as white liquor usually? It's what we ask for. I mean, me personally, I get everything. I get some white, some dark, some Heinekens. What is Ramy? Ramy? Remy? Remy. You mean as far as light or dark? Yes. It's dark. It's cognac. Cognac? Yes. Remy Martin, cognac, VSOP. Do you remember if that was something you were drinking that night? No, I don't think so. Okay, do you remember that other patrons at the Club Ritz that night were complaining that there was no liquor left for them? No. And in your discussion about making it rain, do you recall if anybody on the stage, not necessarily with your
All right,
group,
y'all. I
but
gotta
with Job's group
apologize
that was
real quick. I
performing,
had to
was
run to
anybody
my
drawing rain
car
from his
to grab something. I want to make sure I didn't miss nothing that I pointed out with you guys.
van the other passengers were in? Was that another van that was with your tour? Yes. Do you remember what color that was?
He's
It was
describing the
lighter.
van,
It was
y'all.
light. I don't know if it was silver or if it was white. It
Hey,
was
I hit
light.
that like button. Welcome to the hood.
And what happened with you all in the white van then,
Oh
or silver
man,
van? What happened? We get Phil in
this
there
shit
and
smell like
shots
some
rang out again.
gas too. Straight
Do you know if those
gas.
shots hit anything? Yeah, they hit the white. The white, the light colored van? The light colored, the white, the light colored van, yeah. Where did that van go then?
Okay, hold on.
When we started,
The nigga said that the bullets rained out and hit the light color van. Is that not telling? In what neighborhood, what street? At this point, is it still not telling, y'all? How long was I gone? Like 2 minutes? Because they're talking about the shot. I wanted to hear what he was talking about. Hold on, I gotta go back a little bit more, y'all, because I want to hear when they said the van was coming up behind them.
one line of traffic coming into the club. We were in the line of traffic leaving. I noticed headlights, trying to get around, go get into the lane of oncoming traffic, making efforts to pull up on the side of us. So I made Ron aware. And basically, me and Ron was having the same conversation that I just told you. If a fight break out, man, I'm cool. You need to go make sure everybody else is all right so we can leave. Don't just stand here with me and do nothing. So Ron and I were having that discussion, and I also noticed headlights, and I attempted to bring it to Ron's attention. Do you see what's going on around you? Are you looking? And, he said, yeah, I got it. I got it. And he kept talking. And before I knew it, shots rang out. Okay. Did you see where the shots came from at all?
Okay, court. T.I. is in court. And he just told him that this certain color vehicle rode up behind him. He made his staff or security aware that the car was coming. And at the midst of this conversation, bullets start firing. So he basically then told the jury and the judge that the person that was in the other car pulled up and started shooting at their vehicle, y'all. The nigga told, I don't give a fuck how much you like his music. I don't give a fuck how much you like the movies he in, his family shows. The nigga's a cold-hearted rat. What's good to my nigga First Fam Reek and my nigga Miss McGill. Salute for y'all tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, which I'm sure y'all have done. Share this motherfucker. If y'all got the bread, y'all go ahead and click the link at the top of the chat. Get that membership. The link to come up here and discuss the topic is also in the chat. And as always, y'all motherfuckers, welcome to the hood. Let's go.
I mean, I knew they came from the left side because that's the side I saw the car trying to pull up to. Okay. And as the shots rang out, what did you do? Took cover. Okay. Do you know whether anybody in your vehicle returned fire at all? Yeah, they did. And after that initial shooting incident was over, what happened then? We pulled over to the side of the road, tried to assess the situation. Then I think Bruce pulled out again to get us on the highway, noticed that the tires were flat. And at that point, we're calling everybody's names out to see if everybody's all right. We called Phil's name out. Phil didn't respond. So at that point, everybody trying to get out of the car, we're picking.
Now check this out. What's suspicious about this story is he said after the shots happened, they pulled off the highway for a second, and then he said something like they tried to get back on the highway, but they noticed that the tires was flat. Then they start calling people's name to see if everybody was okay. Now, let's be clear about this shit. This is not a tour bus. This is not a Boeing jet. This is a van. I believe a Sprinter van. If not, it's pretty much the same size as a Sprinter van. You know, give or take a little bigger, a little smaller. But the point I'm making is it's not that big where you should have to call out to see if people's okay. So I'm trying to envision the story that this snitch nigga is telling us. So when y'all pulled over off the highway, at that point, nobody looked around to see if anybody was hurt. Nobody checked to see if anybody wasn't moving or if somebody was still laying down in a cover position. I believe Phil was shot in the head. I could be wrong. But wherever he was shot at, I would like to believe there was blood stains or a flow of blood coming from somewhere. So how's it that you got off the freeway and then you decided to get back on and then you realized the tires was flat so you couldn't do that? Then you niggas do a roll call and that's where you say you realize Phil didn't respond. The shit just sounds suspicious and weird though. Like if my shit gets shot up and we pull over to a safe location, the first thing you do is you check. Of course, you're gonna check on the boss, the top dollar, if there's no kids or women in the situation. But after you find out the boss is cool, then you go checking on everybody else. Or off top, if I look and see everybody else is standing and moving, and this one nigga just laying there, probably shaking, trembling, or even if you just laying there and everybody else is fucking moving, then obviously something's fucking wrong. I just feel like too much shit happened between the shooting and them finding out that Phil was dead. That if anything, and I'm not saying they could have saved him or anything, but you guys should have realized something was wrong with Phil. I'm just saying a whole lot sooner than what he's describing. But this is the Snitch testimony, y'all. Let's go.
Phil up, trying to get Phil out, and a car came back and opened fire again. When you had stopped on the expressway? Uh huh. And Phil wasn't saying anything? Yeah. And you went to him? Uh huh. What did he look like? Lifeless. Is it at that point after that second series of shots rang out? Yeah, yes. Can you describe that for the jury, where those came from? You mean a vehicle, or I don't know. I didn't see. Honestly, I didn't see what vehicle, what shots came from, nothing like that. As I was getting Phil out of the car, I just know, shots rang out again. I believe it was again. I'm sure that it was again on the left side. Okay.
So the nigga or niggas that Ti pissed off in the club, nigga, they wanted his ass so badly after they sprayed up the whip one time and took Phil's life. They came back and sprayed the side up again. Luckily for Ti, the niggas did not get out the car and come on some pop smoke, manhunt type shit. But they definitely weren't playing with this nigga.
What did you all do as the second series of shots rang out? I mean, at this point, we were still trying to maneuver to get Phil out. We didn't really, nobody really took full cover at that point because we were more concerned about him. And if you could describe to the jury, Mr. Harris, then what happened next at the scene? We finally made a way to get Phil out. Another van that was with us pulled up on us. We finally get Phil out of the black van into the other van the other passengers were in. Was that another van that was with your tour? Yes. Do you remember what color that was? It was lighter. It was light. I don't know if it was silver or if it was white. It was light. And what happened
Of
with you all
course,
in the
my
white
nigga.
van then, or silver van?
They may be broke, but them niggas was
What
strapped the
happened? We get
fuck
Phil
up,
in
ready to
there and
go.
shots rang out again. Do you know if those shots hit anything? Yeah, they hit the light colored van. The light colored, the white, the light colored van, yeah.
Okay, y'all, look.
Where did that van go then?
Now, without him saying who actually did the shooting, is this not telling, nigga? Because what they're going to do is they got the whole story from T.I. now, right? So now they need the last 2 or 3 witnesses to come in and point out who actually did it. They put all the shit together. Okay, T.I. said it was this color car. It pulled up on the side of their vehicle. He told his team they was alert. They shot the motherfucker up. So basically, you got T.I. saying it was a nigga in this car. Yeah, he couldn't see the nigga face. He was in a van. The nigga was in the car. Nigga get the bus and you ain't looking out no window to see who it is. You know? But if you help collaborate with testimony to get a man convicted of a crime, you're a motherfucking snitch. Don't let that nigga try to change the rule or change the game and say, oh, well, I didn't say who actually did it. It don't matter. You participated and helped the prosecution with other witnesses describe the story, which ended up getting Hosea Thomas 30 plus motherfucking years.
And when we started, we made our way to go, to go to the hospital. But then I believe the police or the ambulance or whatever pulled us over. Yeah, police pulled us over. And then we told them, the issue and they called the ambulance. Were you hit at all? No. Were you injured at
Now,
all
hold
by
on,
any
y'all.
glass
Hold
or
on.
anything?
This may sound dumb, y'all. I understand it sounds dumb. It wasn't until I became older in life I realized how dumb some of these rules is that we abide by. But now Phil is shot, presumed dead. You still not allowed to call the motherfucking police. Unfortunately. Again, I know y'all may not agree. Y'all may not like these motherfucking rules. That's why you shouldn't accept them. That's why you shouldn't jump off the porch. You should be a citizen and live your life the correct way. But unfortunately, this is a life that a lot of us have chose. And unfortunately, these are some of the rules that we didn't create. Some of these dumb rules were put there prior. And it is what it is.
No. I'm going to show you, if I can, a couple exhibits. States Exhibits 34K. Uh-huh. Do you recognize who that is? How did Falan's family find out about his death? I told them.
Hey, Miguel, 33, Reed, First Fam. If you niggas want to come up, the link is in the chat.
And who did his family consist of? I told his cousins first. Well, no, I called his mom first. Then I told his cousin. Then when I got to Atlanta, I went to his dad's house. I told his daddy. I told his little girl. I
Oh, yeah,
told
there's
like
some
all his
gas.
family, everybody. I did. How old was his little
Real
girl?
dark purple buzz,
His
too.
daughter was 4 years old at the time. 5 years old at the
Yeah.
time. And how did you tell his daughter that her father was dead? I told her daddy's gone and he's in a better place and he won't be coming
He
back. And
might
I
as
told her
well,
how much I loved
33.
her.
He might as well have did it.
And how did you tell his mom
But
that
he
her
don't
son
want
was
his
gone?
voice or phone number on the 911 call,
Well,
though.
first I apologized. I apologized because I felt that all of those rounds were fired for
Y'all
me.
make sure y'all
In
hit
my
that like
opinion.
button if y'all haven't
So I
already.
apologized to her at first,
If
and
you
then
new, hit that
I
subscribe
told her what
button.
happened to the best of my knowledge, and
And welcome
I
to the
didn't get to
hood.
really say much after that. There wasn't much else to say. How did she and his daughter do after you told them the news? Well, surprisingly, his daughter was very strong. His mom, not so much. His mom was hysterical. She was hysterical, distraught. His pops, too. His grandma, his aunts, his cousins, all of them. That's all, Judge. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Teeger. Mr. Isley, do you have any questions for Mr. Harris? Yes, I do, Judge. All right. Good morning. How are you doing?
This is the cross examination.
Fine.
The
How
defense
old are you,
team.
Mr. Harris? 28 years old. 28. You would have been 26 in 2006? Yes. When this happened? Now, you talk a little bit about the club arrangements and the setup. Did part of the arrangements include that your advanced people make arrangements for certain liquor for you and the people that travel with you? Well, yes, of course it does. They put whatever we request in our section and have it waiting for us when we get there. And would that be what is known as white liquor usually? It's what we ask for. I mean, me personally, I get everything. I get some white, some dark, some Heinekens. What is Ramy? Ramy. Remy? Remy. You mean as far as light or dark? Yes. It's dark. It's cognac. Cognac? Yes. Remy Martin, cognac, VSOP. Do you remember if that was something you were drinking that night? No, I don't think so. Okay, do you remember that other patrons at the Club Ritz that night were complaining that there was no liquor left for them? No. And in your discussion about making it rain, do you recall if anybody on the stage, not necessarily with your group, but with Jock's group that was performing, was anybody throwing rain from his stage? Throwing money, excuse me. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't have a recollection. I can't actually describe who was throwing money. I just know I didn't throw no money. All right. I can't say that they didn't, but I don't recall it. I didn't see it. Well, you did mention that an altercation broke out between just a small group at first. Do you know why that broke out? Like, as I said before, the way I remember it, it was someone trying to get in the VIP section whose security was trying to keep out of the VIP section. That person was unhappy about that and became disrespectful and very ornery, and the fight ensued from there. Do you remember that as the fight ensued and became larger and larger group fighting, that it became more of a fight by the patrons against your group? I don't know. I mean, all of them are patrons. Even the guy who was at the VIP, he was a patron. So it was a fight against us and the patrons from the get-go. From the beginning? Yeah, he was a patron. Okay, and evidently at some point, or let me ask you, at some point in the altercation while you were in the VIP area, did you climb over the railing with one of your people, like Mr. Evans, Clay Evans, to try and help calm people down? It's possible. And do you recall when you started to make your way out?
Now you notice how, oh, it's possible, it's this, it's that. But for the prosecution, he was clear and knew everything the prosecution asked him. When it comes to the defense side, trying to get the killer off, oh, he don't remember this, he don't relate, maybe not. You did that. You doing the shit for the wrong side, nigga. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that's your best friend, but what I'm saying is a street nigga supposed to play dumb for the prosecution and help the defense. You know what I'm saying? But you know, snitch.
Evidently, you went to the rear. Do you recall how you got out of that
What's
club?
up, Miss G?
Yeah, there was an empty room next door. You went around, and did you go all the way back out to the front where you came in?
Huh?
Yeah, we went past the bar. There's an empty room, through the empty room to the front.
Hey, give me some
All the way
water.
to the front?
I just want some water.
Yeah.
No juice, no stuff,
Some
just
people
water.
evidently got out the side door, but
Water,
not you.
water, and ice.
Well, maybe that side door led to the empty room. Okay, I mean, out of the building by way of the side door? No, as I recall, I think the Ritz is in the middle of a plaza, shopping plaza, is it not? Yes, it is. We were out there for a view earlier. There is no side door that lets you directly out onto the street, so you have to go through a side door to another place and walk out of a front door. There's no way you can go out the side door straight onto the street.
Well, he telling
Okay,
everything,
all
y'all.
right, as I recall. And then as you're leaving in the van, as you got outside out front, how close were your vans to where you exited? Not far, 5, 10 feet, right there. And did you all just kind of dive into those vans? No, we walked in, we got in, made sure everybody who rode with us got in our van, made sure everybody who rode with the other van got in that van. You weren't in a great hurry to get out of there? A great hurry? Yeah, like running. No, no, not enough of a hurry to leave nobody. Did you see anybody? Actually, the police was pulling out guns and mace and. Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah. If you observed any police with any guns drawn or, yeah, mace? Yeah, guns, stun guns, mace, and all that. So, how close by were those security guards? Security guards or police? Police, excuse me, deputies. In my plain view, so they had to be 20 feet away from me. Okay, any of those police yelling at anybody? Of course, of course. What were they yelling? I don't know. I mean, whatever police yell out to get order. I don't know. I don't know what they were yelling. You didn't? I noticed the guns drawn. Okay, all right. And I noticed them, become upset more than I remember what they were yelling. Okay, and when you got into the vans
Live
and then you
TI
exited, you indicated
testimony.
you came out onto the main street there, and you were evidently all the way in the back? Sure. And that's where the ladies were, all the way in the back? Hmm. Were the ladies all the way in the back of the van? No comment. Okay, and then as you traveled on the street, you noticed a vehicle coming up behind because of the headlights? Yeah. And you sensed that something might be going to happen? Yep. What would make you sense that? Well, we were all filed up in a single file line, one car behind the other. There was only one more lane of traffic, which was oncoming traffic. If I look in the back window and I see some headlights fall behind us going in this lane of oncoming traffic, trying to speed up, not being able to, having to get back in the line, doing that. Oh, I see. That caught my attention. It cautioned me. And
So
when that
obviously Ti was afraid. So when they left, Ti was looking out the back window, which you just heard him say. He was looking out the back window the whole time, and he noticed a car would jump into the opposite direction of traffic, and then jump back into his lane just to get closer and closer and closer to him. And he did say he let his team aware of that, and why they didn't hop out or assess the situation, I don't know. But they all sat in the car comfortably, and that's why I feel it's probably dead to this day. That and Ti stirring up shit in the club. But that's what I'm saying. Like, don't hire your family and friends as security, nigga. When you make it to a certain tax bracket, you gotta have real niggas. Like, once you notice that, first of all, your security team should have noticed that, not you. But once anybody had noticed that, two or three of your guys were supposed to get out, one stand at the back of the van, closer to the other side of the traffic lane, towards the middle of the lane, if you want to call it that. One need to be on the other back towards, the lane that you're actually in, and one needs to be at the front driver's side towards the middle of the lane. So if anything comes on that side, you got two guards over there to tear their ass up. And if for some reason he decides to hit the gutter lane and try to get you, you got your one nigga over there on point. And then the nigga at the back of the van can also assist him until the nigga from the front come around. Like, that's just simple shit, my nigga. Like, he even said when he told dude or made dude aware of what was going on, dude kept talking and he was like, "Oh yeah, I see it," but nobody took action, and that's why I feel it's dead, y'all.
vehicle, did you see that vehicle ever pull up even with the van? I cannot say that this is the same vehicle that pulled up on the side of us. I can only assume. I can't say that the same vehicle that was in and out of traffic was the same vehicle that pulled up on the side of us. Do you know from your perspective in the van, if a vehicle had pulled up alongside of your black van, would that vehicle have been in the same direction of traffic as you? Yes, it was in the same direction of traffic as me. Okay, they wouldn't have been across the center line? No, the thing was, while we were trying to exit the club, it was one lane of traffic going out, one lane of traffic going in as we were trying to exit the club. That's when I saw the car swerve. Once we made a right onto the main street, it was two lanes of the same traffic. Okay. So at that point, that vehicle, if it is the same vehicle, had an opportunity to get on the side of us. Okay, now when the shooting starts, and at some point your tires, I guess, are shot out on the black van?
Did y'all
Yes.
hear that? As soon as they got onto the regular streets where there were two or more lanes of traffic, the same car he said pulled up on the side of him, and he believed that's what the one that shot up his van. So if they catch the nigga in the car that you said shot up the van, that's not hard to convict him. So you're not a snitch. You just told the court that that vehicle that you described was the one you believe shot up your van. So all you gotta do is find out, well, who was in that vehicle. Simple. You just saw the case. You just made it easy amongst all the other telling you've already done. Let's go.
Do you recall that? Did you stop right then? Did the van stop or did you keep going? It pulled over. It pulled over. It pulled over for a second and then pulled off again. And kept rolling? Yes. And then it rolled evidently down the ramp and onto the interstate? Okay. Do you recall that, or maybe you don't? On the interstate, I don't know if it was down a ramp, up a ramp. Okay. So at that point, that vehicle, if it is the same vehicle, had an opportunity to get on the side of us.
He said at that point, that vehicle, and then he says, if it's that vehicle put on the side of us. See, he said it was, then he switched it up and said, if. In court, that's all they need, my nigga.
Okay, now when the shooting starts, and at some point your tires, I guess, are shot out on the black van? Yes. Do you recall that? Did you stop right then? Did the van stop, or did you keep going? It pulled over. It pulled over? It pulled over for a second and then pulled off again. And kept rolling? Yes. And then it rolled evidently down the ramp and onto the interstate? Okay. Do you recall that, or maybe you don't? On the interstate, I don't know if it was down a ramp, up a ramp. All right, and then you described how you were trying to move Mr. Johnson from the black van into the white van along with some others. And during that exchange, there was some additional shots. After you took off in the white van and got going, there was some additional shots? Excuse me? After you had made the exchange of the people from the black van, yes, to the white van, yes, some shots rang out again, yes. And then
They
the white
double
van pulled
backed
away with
on
you and
him.
Mr. Johnson in it, yes. And a couple of other wounded people, yes. Do you recall who else was wounded? Ron, Bruce, a young lady, and Phil. All right. And as the white van then proceeded down the highway, you took on shots again? The white van got shot? No, the white van only got shot at once. Once, but it took out the back window of the white van? Yes. Okay, and when the police came upon the white van and stopped the white van, you all got out to talk to the police? Well, they asked everybody to get out, yeah? Did some people crawl out of the back window to get out of that van? I don't recall. How did you get out? I got out through the side door. Okay, have you been in a situation like this before with a shootout? Yeah. At a concert tour? Oh, no, not a concert. Not a concert. I was before I started doing concerts.
So now he's telling the court that he's been in a shootout before his rap career. Why would you even admit that? Why would you even tell the courts that? Come on, man. Look at this nigga's character. Expeditiously.
Before you started doing concerts? Yeah. What type of a shootout would you have been in before a concert? What type? Yeah. The type where two sides of people are shooting at each other? Okay, all right. You mentioned you did have a prior felony as well as this most recent charge. What is your prior felony? Possession of crack cocaine with intent to distribute. Okay, and your current charge you're awaiting sentencing on? Yes. And what offense is that? Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Okay, what type of firearm? Machine guns. Machine guns? Yeah.
Ex felon caught with machine guns with a S. Not a pistol, not a 9, not a 4.5. A ex felon caught with machine guns. How we all know the nigga did 8 months to a year, right? Explain that shit.
Yes. And part of your agreement on that plea is that you're going to go to prison? Yes. And in that tune, and I'm probably going to mess this up, but one of your tunes you mentioned, is it live your life however you want to, live your life? No, it's live your life. I don't know about the however you want to part. Okay, how does it go? What's the lyric? You help me. What is the lyric? Which one? Live your life. What's next? I know you're chasing that paper, but live your life. No time for haters. Just live your life. No telling where it will take you. Just live your life. Okay, do you go through different subjects with that, like women, jobs, and money? Live your life? Yeah, I'm sure I probably do. Forgive me for being amused. Okay, well, forgive me. I don't know all the words. Okay. If I can just have a minute, Your Honor. Mr. Harris, with respect to the current felony charge, which you described as a machine gun possession? Uh huh. I said, uh huh. Okay, did that also include silencers? Yes, it did.
Listen to this
For
shit. She
pistols
breaking
and
him
things?
down.
Yes, it did.
Listen.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from the prosecution? No, Your Honor. Thank you. All right, Mr. Harris, you can step down. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. Can he be excused back to his home city? Yes, Your Honor.
Now, there was a video of him actually giving the same testimony that Crown TV Court Salute to Them just read. It was a whole video of him sitting on the stand saying the same shit she just read. And he somehow has gotten that taken off of every website and YouTube channel it was on, leaving just that 1 little minute clip of him basically not saying nothing. Where from the transcripts you can see he told a whole fucking lot. And again, if he didn't feel guilty or had nothing to hide, why did he, however he did it, make this shit disappear like this? Why not leave the whole video at the state that it was? I'm sure a lot of YouTubers and media platforms was upset that for whatever reason they took this shit down. Still to this day, no one has figured out how he was even possible to make that happen. Shit, motherfuckers and had porno tapes released on their ass, leaked, whatever, and with way more money than Ti, they couldn't make that shit disappear. But that whole hour video didn't disappear, bruh. So now, with his testimony, all they gotta do is figure out who was driving the other vehicle. That's the shooter. All they gotta do is take the testimony of anybody else that knows anything about this crime and piece that shit together like they did. It's just like making a movie. Y'all saw how detailed Clifford was. He was highly and very detailed. And we kind of already knew that because just from listening to him talk, you could tell there's some education somewhere. I don't know why he say he's so street when he has a high ass education, nigga. I thought I was a smart street nigga. This motherfucker, the way he talk, he on some next level shit, like nigga. And no, that ain't come from just reading no motherfucking books, nigga. Ti got a degree from somewhere. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, y'all just tapped in and y'all just heard Ti basically just sit here and just tell basically everything that the prosecution needed. No, he did not say who the shooter was because he didn't know. He was in the van ducking bullets. But he pretty much gave them 80%, I would say, if not more, of what they needed to go along with the rest. And now Hosea Thomas is now in prison serving his sentence for the death of Phil. RIP to Phil, too, because like I said, this has nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying? Or not wanting justice for him. This is just strictly about a street rapper like many that get on this motherfucking claim they gangster, they claim they hood, and at the end of the day, they telling and snitching. Now, y'all notice how she pointed out something else too. She pointed out the fact that Ti got caught with machine guns, silencers, I believe bullets, I believe vests, I believe a whole lot of shit he was caught with. And I don't even for how much money you got. There's no explanation for you walking on that. Like, there's nothing you can do. A snitch commercial. You know how many? Honestly, you know how many real street niggas would have fucking probably turned or did a snitch commercial if that's all it fucking took to get out of a gun charge, nigga. It'd be so many niggas at home right now if all they had to do was do a snitch commercial to be the gun charge. This nigga had a whole motherfucking artillery. This nigga was mounting up because niggas was on his ass. And he just got caught, unfortunately. What's up, Smooth? My nigga Smooth in the building. And she pointed that out, nigga. You had silencers for pistols. You had all kind of shit. So you basically is working on a deal, bruh. So y'all gotta understand that all this took place, the commercial, the testifying against his friend's murder to get Jose Thomas off the streets. And man, look, it ain't no sugarcoating this shit. Your boy's a rat. Straight up. But look though, I ain't getting no support today, so it's at the hour mark, y'all. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I appreciate y'all watching, but that's my time. Y'all know what it is. I am Tennessee Official, and I'd like to welcome y'all to the Hood on Lock. I'll see y'all motherfuckers next time. Peace.
Calvin, we the best. Who? We nigga, we the best. This the remix, the I'm So Hood remix. I'm making more scenes. Put your hands up, hood, my hood nigga, can you stand up? If you not from here, you can walk it. And you not hood.
Wow, I'm watching this live.
What's up? You rockin' with Snitch, and I'd like to welcome you to the Hood